All right, so basketball news. Kristaps Porzingis has decided not to play for Latvia in the upcoming FIBA World Cup. The center posted on X, which is Twitter. That could be bugging right there, Mike, that we're calling X and Twitter at the same time. He's recovering from plantar fasciitis in his foot. He's still not able to play at full capacity. Porzingis says that his decision to sit out was made with input from the Latvian national team's medical and coaching staff, as well as the Celtics. Time now for the Ford Big Board. Built for America, built Ford proud. And here's a look at Porzingis' games played throughout his career. Only played over 70 games in his first season, and then he was over 60 twice, including 65 games just last year. Back here with Felger and Chris Gasper, the Boston Globe. How concerned should we be about Kristaps Porzingis in this plantar fasciitis?
I never like any sort of 7-footer dealing with the foot injury. The history of those injuries, it's not great. Yao Ming, Bill Walton, those guys, Kevin McHale, those injuries can linger. And plantar fasciitis, for anyone who's ever had it, knows that that's not something that normally just goes away. That could be something that could bother him all season long unless they can calm it down. So, he's saying sort of, I made this decision. It sounds like the decision was made for him. This is the concern with Kristaps Porzingis. He's wildly talented, but he is not durable, and he can't stay on the court. And last year was really the anomaly. You put up those numbers. It was very instructive. The 65 games, this is the most he played since his second year in the league, and that was pre-ACL injury. So this is the risk the Celtics are taking, that this guy will be available when it matters most, and that's no guarantee.
Any sense the Celtics knew about this, didn't know about this before they made the trade and or extended him?
I don't know that, but my guess is that this is something that cropped up. Now, the Wizards did sort of shut him down towards the end of the year. I don't recall what that injury was, or they were just protecting him. But this, to me, sounds like he wanted to play through it. Because it's painful, plantar fasciitis, but you can play through it. And it sounds like he wanted to do that for Latvia, and the Celtics, I think, put the kibosh on it, particularly after what happened last year with Danilo Gallinari. I mean, that's all they need is second year in a row, a guy playing internationally and not really being available to them for this season. They have too much invested in this year. Rick Grossbeck's talked about that. They have too much invested in Porzingis with that 2-year extension at $60 million.
So then the question becomes to me, how do you manage it? Because for them, they are all about May and June. That's all that really matters, I think, to this team is that you're going for a championship. You're in this tight window where you got to be thinking about it, win now, and maybe you get 2 cracks at it. But, is it really worth it to play him throughout November and December? Or do you try to manage it and then just make sure that you have him as healthy as possible for the playoffs?
I know we're going to talk about this, but Giles, how could he miss the in-season tournament? I mean, it's so important.
Well, again, we'll get to that.
He has to be in those games, right?
Can they win it all without him?
No. Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely not.
No. I mean, the way they've built the team, the whole point of this was to upgrade the third option from Smart to Porzingis. And to me, if you don't have him there, and also part of it was to try and diversify what you do offensively, you're still going to shoot a ton of threes, but we want him to come inside out instead of 5 out, dribble, drive, move the ball. They need him. He's really their only guy that can sort of play in the post and score consistently, and he's a much better third option than what they've put out there the last couple of years. And here's the other factor. Are we counting on Malcolm Brogdon? Is he going to be around at all? Do we know? I mean, it's radio silence on that thing. So if you have no Brogdon and you don't have Porzingis, yeah, I stand by it. Absolutely not. They would not win the title without Porzingis.
I still think they have a shot, but that's why I look at it and say you have to manage this situation as best you can, thinking about May and June, because I think they're to the point where they realize that the regular season doesn't mean as much, except for in November. We're talking about the in-season tournament, which it goes into December. Here's how the in-season tournament works. There are 6 groups of 5 teams each who will play each other as part of the regular season schedule on Tuesdays and Fridays in November. Group winners, plus 1 wild card from each conference, will move on to the 8-team knockout round in December, the championship game that will not count as a regular season game. And as of this afternoon, we do know the Celtics group play schedule because they're going to start, seeing some of the details here of this in-season tournament. Celtics going to be hosting Brooklyn, and then you got road games at Toronto and Orlando, and then they'll wrap things up at home against the Bulls. Gasper's already shaking his head. Seems like you're not a huge fan here, the in-season tournament.
I think this is so contrived, and it bugs me because I like this in European soccer. and South American soccer, but the difference is they don't have playoffs. And so what it is it's another opportunity for a team to put their stamp on their season, to win a championship. This is contrived, and this is just Adam Silver's vanity project. He's a big fan of international soccer, so am I, but that doesn't mean you have to shoehorn this in to the regular season. And also, okay, you want to do this? Fine. All right, let's do it. What do they win? Like, okay, give somebody a playoff spot. You're automatically no worse than the 6th seed in your conference. But what do they win? $500,000 per player, and there are no stakes. Why should I care about this? It's a nuisance and a pain in the butt.
So that's the biggest problem, is that there's no stakes. There's nothing to play for there. And as you mentioned in European soccer, because there is no tournament, single elimination doesn't exist in soccer except for these side tournaments. So soccer fans get it. There's one going on right now with MLS and the Mexican League. And the stadiums are full. People get it, like the soccer people get. NBA people are not going to get this. And even it's definitely a long play. This is something that a generation from now, the NBA figures this is something they can really monetize and will have caught on. But it's going to take that because North American fans just don't understand the concept of these in-season tournaments.
Well, they also, and I think they like the idea that they're getting in Vegas, too, with this, right? Because the semifinals and the championship game, they're going to be in Las Vegas, so that's a way to kind of...
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, come on, you got a football team there now, a hockey team. It doesn't matter. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, Gasper. It doesn't matter. Vegas is fine. It's a lot of fun. They'll have a great time. The players will like it for that. Maybe they'll actually play to get there.